Well, it's a shocking, sad, depressing story where you get to see lives lost. Recently, yes, as we have seen it reported in dailies today in Mubi, in Adamawa State. Let's get across to the Commissioner of Information there, Ahmad Sajo. He joins us on the line today. Good morning and thank you for joining us. This must be a very heavy day, tough one, the day after.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, what is the situation in Mubi?
Well, at least yesterday was a particularly sad day for us, but mercifully today is a little bit calm, and the situation is not any adverse today. We've gone around the town. The deputy governor was there up until late in the night yesterday, but he returned to Yola, and mercifully the place is a little bit calm today. No incident reported, and except the area where the incident happened, all other areas are normal.
Well, what can you tell us? Because, I mean, when this kind of attacks happens, we hear about certain visits, we go back to business, the next thing that happens again, another visit, we go back to business. It's almost like a cycle. What is being done to ensure this doesn't happen?
I think sometimes we have to understand that no matter how much you plan, once in a while you get some little loopholes. I think there was a loophole yesterday. Two people who supposedly were known within the community within that area would have penetrated the mosque with explosive devices, and they went into the middle of the mosque and ensured that they had people around them in front, at the back, and on all sides, and then they detonated the explosive devices. I am sure there was just a little loophole. Otherwise, all our places of worship had tight security, and we had a robust means of identifying strangers within our midst. So I'm sure yesterday some people just exploited the loopholes. But mercifully, it also brought out some of the best in us, because the kind of response our people showed yesterday was very commendable. People went to support those that were injured. People donated blood freely without being told. The traditional leadership, the local leadership, everybody just rallied around. And I think it was a very commendable thing. And the deputy governor showed a lot of leadership qualities by going there personally to inspect the process. And the brigade commander was there. The governor cut short his trip to overseas and returned to Adamawa. All of these things had shown that at least there is some concern in the leadership, and so we will take measures to make sure that we further protect our people and protect ourselves.
How many attacks were carried out yesterday?
No, yesterday was a tragic day for Adamawa State. While we were busy, talking about what happened in Mubi, which was a suicide bomb attack, there was apparently in the night an attack in some areas, remote areas of Numa local government. And there too we had some losses of lives, some of them quite tiny children, babies and small children. And it was quite tragic. When the deputy governor went to Numan, he shed tears openly. It was damn tragic, and we had two reported cases of people losing lives in two extreme corners, one left, one right in Adamawa State. It was very difficult for us to absorb. But then, God in His great mercy has been able to really help us to absorb the shock. But the shock was terrible yesterday.
Identify the feuding groups.
Yes, up to this morning, I just spoke with the deputy governor who led the team yesterday to go, and our concern now is to heal wounds, to create community cohesion, and efforts in that direction are being taken. And of course, the security agencies have been given the marching orders to identify anybody who must have perpetrated some criminal act, bring him to book. I think you cannot have reconciliation in such a situation unless perpetrators of some of these dastardly acts are brought to book. So we will do whatever we are supposed to do as a government to ensure that the situation does not escalate. And one of the ways is to actually support security agencies to bring the perpetrators of some of these acts to book. And also, like I said, we have realized that some of our places of worship and gatherings have become porous because people have become a little bit complacent. We will reactivate our mechanisms for ensuring that our society is peaceful. We will reactivate our mechanisms for distributing gadgets that will screen people before they enter places of worship. And we will return back to our normal system of a few people not praying with the congregation so that they can watch over the others. We will do all of these things to ensure that peace and normalcy returns in our state fully. But it's unfortunate.
Does this have anything to do with herdsmen?
Hello, sir?
Does this have any connection with herdsmen?
We are not very, very sure. Although, ethnic profiling of issues like this only escalates the situation. We are not doing any ethnic profiling, but we know that two ethnic groups are involved, and we are trying as much as possible to be sure that we know what happened, from a security standpoint. At this point in time, ethnic profiling will actually just escalate the situation, and we don't want it to escalate. We want it to end, and inshallah, we will succeed and get it to end. We wouldn't want it to escalate in any way or form.
I mean, I don't understand what you mean. You say two ethnic groups are involved, and you're talking about ethnic profiling. I'm trying to connect dots. Which two ethnic groups are involved?
A clash between two ethnic groups.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
I say apparently it was a clash between two ethnic groups.
Which ethnic groups?
We believe from preliminary we have noticed it's between the Bachama and the Fulani.
But we understand too that there's this talk of reprisals. Is there anything being done to ensure that that doesn't happen?
We are working. That's what I told you, that first and foremost, we are not interested in ethnic profiling the crisis, because that will also. Now, we're not going to stand by and watch the process swept under the carpet. Those that have been identified as perpetrators of whatever heinous or dastardly act that has been taking place will be brought to book. And then again, we have a robust mechanism now to ensure that we engineer harmony within our communities. We're doing that, and this process, like I told you, is led by the Deputy Governor on the orders of the Governor. And the Governor is also back. This morning, we're going to have a Security Council meeting, again, to discuss this issue. Traditional rulers are invited, community leaders are invited. We are going to find a solution to it. We're not going to allow it escalate. We're not going to allow a reprisal to take place. Inshallah, we will overcome.
If I could take you back to the movie incident, even though we have several figures, do you have any figure to give us in terms of casualties involved? Is it increasing? Are the people stable, being treated?
Yeah, as at the time that, as at yesterday when the Deputy Governor visited, the medical personnel had been able to at least give him a figure of